Gentlemen, did you know that avoidance is the #1 silent killer of marriages? And being an avoidant man in a relationship usually looks something like being present with your wife, but mentally or emotionally checking out, staying late at work or staying late at the office too frequently, going for dinner with your wife, but being on the phone, or talking about the tasks or the business or day-to-day activities and not actually connecting. Avoidance usually comes from a fear of intimacy for men, okay? And this is actually not your fault. Avoidance is a biological survival instinct for men. It helps you actually rebuild your hormones after a hard day's work. You just want to switch off, but it is the silent killer of marriage.
Ho, ho, ho! Fiction can be fun.
Well, there, Colleen, I beg to differ. This gorilla's gonna say that the silent killer of marriage, in my opinion, is women's emotions. As in, go with your feeling and go with what makes you feel happy. As the saying goes, men will sacrifice their happiness for their families. Women will sacrifice their families for their happiness. I mean, you're saying that men mentally check out. And the examples that she gives of mentally check out really are superficial at best. I mean, the first one, staying late at work or staying late at work too often. Yep, that's a big one, all right. Men are mentally checking out on that one because the bills are going to pay themselves, right? Sweetheart, if you're not the moneymaker in the relationship and you got with this man and he's making really good money and he's maintaining your lifestyle and more important, your children's lifestyles by him sacrificing his time in that office, have a cook and a smile. The other thing is about going out with your wife and talking about the day-to-day activities and not connecting. Let me translate that from womanese. You're going out with her and you're not talking about what she wants to talk about, which is prioritizing her feelings over anything else. Sure, talking about the kids and day-to-day activities is part of the conversation, but she wants you to be a mind reader and know what she is feeling at that moment and tell her these things. And if you don't do that, it's the silent killer. And when she said that it's not men's fault, it's the fear of intimacy, first of all, I like the fact that she's actually putting the blame on men, not on women. Second of all, it is a survival instinct, and let me tell you why. Because any man who has a clear head on his shoulders already knows that if you tell your wife your fears, your weaknesses, moments that you broke down, that's what's going to chip away the level of respect in her mind for you. You see, men can talk to their male friends about this all day long, and their friends are going to be empathetic. Women, on the other hand, they want to see a rock. They want to see a stoic man that nothing can break them. But the moment that they start showing, hey, you know what, I have feelings too, women will say the PC things outwards. Oh yes, I want to hear about it because men don't talk about their emotions. But inwards, no. Inwards, they're going to be like, OMG, I feel like I'm married to another woman. And then that's when they start getting the other ideas of the grass is greener on the other side. Maybe I should divorce and find my happiness. And I say, when women look out at the pastures far away from their marriages and long-term relationships, they have to ask themselves, what keeps the grass green? Box wine and kittens. Moving on. Before we move on, I want to bring attention that 70% of my viewers are not subscribed to my channel. Come on, fam. You've seen my logo on other channels, and you're already here. Please hit that subscribe button and support the channel. It really helps out. Moving on.
My daughter asked a really good question. Why are men more afraid of marriage than they are of having children? Because it seems like children would be a bigger commitment. And I said, whew, I thought she was gonna ask something hard. This is easy. Men see marriage as their responsibility, that they are the protector and provider for their wives. And they can't do certain things once they're married. They can't be out hanging out long hours of night. They're supposed to come home at decent hours. They're supposed to be faithful to one woman for the rest of their lives. So when a man gets his woman pregnant, when he's not married to her, he sees that as her responsibility. That's her fault. That's her accountability, that she has to do it. Men completely remove themselves from the equation, and society has allowed them to do that because men see women as the ones that are responsible for raising children. He doesn't see that as his responsibility. He sees marriage as a responsibility, and he doesn't want that.
This right here is the reason why I always say a man is necessary in a relationship, because she just gave a bunch of half-truth, C- level answers to her daughter's question. All right, Queen, First of all, out of everything you said, let me point out the most evident. You said that men see a woman's pregnancy as her responsibility. It's not that he sees it as her responsibility. Women have made it clear that it is their responsibility. Have you forgotten my body, my choice? Men in the US or in the West in general have zero reproductive rights. Once you are pregnant, it is 100% the mother's choice whether the child comes to term or not. He has no say in it. So stop trying to make it sound like men are trying to be irresponsible here. No, they're respecting what women have demanded and giving it to them. Another thing that you haven't told your daughter is the reason why men would much rather just be a baby daddy than actually be married to you. Instead of all those secondary and tertiary answers you gave them, why don't you give them the prime answer, which is men know that the laws are set against them and they will lose half their stuff, a lot of times even more than half their stuff, upon divorce. Considering that women put in for 70% plus of all divorces. But that's all right, Colleen. You keep on going and telling your daughter just the bare minimum. You know, the thing that you complain that men only give out? Moving on.
Y'all, you guys seen like the post of Queen and her man, and it's like their I think their 6-year anniversary. This is why I feel like most men get too comfortable when it's like, if you're just a girlfriend, and I mean, I'm not judging. I love Queen. But if you do like wifey stuff, I'm not saying you shouldn't, but if you already have kids with each other, you've been together that long, have a house, have a business together, he getting everything he want without having to spend any money on a ring. Why would he put a ring on it? You know what I mean? That's why it's like sometimes you should do it, but don't overdo it as a girlfriend, because at the end of the day, it's like, I'm telling you, like, once they hit that 5 year y'all being together, and you start being together for like 6-7 years, they later on, boom, it's gonna be 10 years, still not married. So it's like, with men, it's like they're willing to have a kid with a person, but they think marriage is such a big thing, but they don't think having a child is not a big thing. So it's like, I feel like, hopefully he proposed to her soon, but I feel like Queen deserves it. But I see most videos that do say how, like, if you give a man everything without him making you his wife, why would he make you his wife if he's getting all that treatment that a wife's supposed to do for a man? That's all.
I don't believe I heard you correctly.
First of all, when you make a video while you're stuffing your frickin' face and half your words are drowned out by your munching while you try to make yourself rounder, that's rude as hell. Really, some of you females have got to think about this before you make these videos. That tells any man who sees this off the bat that you really are not wifey material if you do that. That's not seen as the best etiquette. Another thing I like to point out is about the Queen and her man, and she got pregnant and they've been living together, so why would a man marry her? Which is what I could piece together since she can even organize her frickin' train of thought. The point is, men are wising up. You see, the reason they see having a child being more acceptable than being married is because your child is your child. That's your blood. You'll be connected until the day you pass on to the great beyond. Your wife, yeah, she's around until her fifis change, and then she decides, oh, I gotta go find myself back out there and find out who I am. In other words, get back on the carousel and enjoy Chad/Tyrone's thunder meat. Instead of you ladies trying to label men as, oh, they're afraid to get married or why won't they get married, why don't you look at the reasons why men don't get married? And that is, the laws are against them. Marriage has very few benefits, but a lot of losses for men. Now, I know that women love to say, it's statistically proven that men live longer when they're married. So there, that proves that marriage is great for men. I'll counter that with, what's the divorce rate in the US at least? Oh, it's over 50%. So me risking everything I have to extend my life a couple of years has less than a 50% chance of actually working out. Gee, why am I not going to jump on that? But there's a greater than 50% chance that a woman's going to take half my stuff, take custody of the kids, and end up with alimony payout bonus plus child support. Let's put that on a scale. But if we just live together and we just have a kid, I'm only legally responsible for the thing I love the most, my child. I wonder which way men will go. Moving on.
But it is truly death by 1,000 paper cuts. I don't believe people are quick to divorce over the small things. I believe people are divorcing over the small things that happen over a long period of time that they are no longer willing to put up with. In the book, This Is How Your Marriage Ends, Matthew Frey talks about one of his very first blog posts, which was, "My wife left me because I left dishes by the sink." Now, do you truly think his wife left him because he left dishes by the sink? Just once? Maybe twice?
Or was it the complete act of inconsideration time and time and time and time again? See, every time your spouse doesn't consider you and your wants and your needs and the things that are important to you, that's a cut. And it could be something as small as leaving your coffee cup by the edge of the sink. Could be something as small as not putting your clothes in the hamper. But once your spouse has voiced to you that something is bothersome, that something is making them feel not well, not happy, and you continue to carefully and considerately do that thing that bothers them over and over and over again, that is why people leave. A lot of people want to say that women nowadays are so quick to divorce. They are, because they're not going to put up with shit that doesn't serve them any longer.
Does not compute. Does not compute. Does not compute.
All right, for my viewers, the comment that she's replying to says, people are quick to divorce over small stuff. I get the big stuff, but the small stuff, not so much. Now, when she said people are divorcing over the small things that happen over a long period of time, replace the word people with women. I'm sorry, but men don't divorce women over small little things like leaving the garage door open, or not putting up the toilet seat after they finish using it, or not making the bed in the mornings. No, men only put in for divorce less than 30% of the time. And usually it's because of big reasons. And the reason I say that is because in divorce, men have more to lose. So let's clarify that there, Colleen. I mean, in her own example of your wife left you because you left the dishes by the sink time and time and time again, that just shows, oh, so fem logic here. You're going to put your children through the joys of family court, breaking up the family and exposing them to financial hardship because of dishes. But the point was that it happened so many times that I just couldn't stay married to a person who wouldn't do the dishes. Even though they're paying for the majority of the bills here, even though they're the father of my children, even though they're the ones who are maintaining the home that the dishes are in. But the dishes are dirty. That's what counts. And you're right, Queen. Women are quick to put in for divorce because they're not going to put up with stuff that doesn't serve them any longer. Do you want to know what the solution to this is? It's not washing the dishes. It's not putting your clothes in the hamper. It's simply put, men just will not marry you. And it's already being reflected in the marriage rates that are dropping. They're going to say, hey, you want to live together? Great. Okay. You want to leave? Go ahead, but you're not getting a payout. Somehow, some way, I believe that'll cause the divorces to go down. But let's hear what else she has to say.
And what may be small for you may be big to somebody else. Your experience is not universal. The way you experience things is not the way I experience them. So something that might be small to you, like leaving dishes in the sink, or socks on the floor, or leaving clothes in the washer and not moving them to the dryer, or not folding towels and putting them away, that might be small to you, and that might be big to somebody else. And that's the problem, is when you stop being considerate of the things that your partner has voiced to you that they care about, that bothers them, that is something that causes them anxiety or pain, and you continue to do it over and over and over again. Those are the tiny little paper cuts that add up to a gaping wound that can no longer be healed, because once those paper cuts add up, trust is broken. It might seem like a silly thing, but if I can't trust you to put the dishes away when I have said it causes me anxiety when the dishes are piled up in the sink, or when I feel like you think it's my responsibility to put your dish away every single time it's sitting there, that's the problem. It's the complete disregard of your spouse's feelings in a situation. I'm not saying it's not extramarital affairs or things of that nature, the larger scale things, but the majority of time women are filing for divorce, it is because these small things have happened time and time and time again after they have voiced their concern because their partner is no longer considering their needs emotionally or physically.
Wow, you go there, Colleen. But I have to say, it's amazing how women will justify things that men consider small, but to those same women, they consider them big, while at the same time ignoring how devastatingly huge her putting in for divorce will be to her children. Hypocrisy much there, maybe? I mean, let's go on more of her femme logic for being in a marriage. She said, if I can't trust you to put the dishes away because it gives me anxiety, that's a justification for divorce? Well, that could be used the other way around. Men could say, well, if I can't trust you to keep our children and our family together because some dishes are pushing you to run away and destroy everything that we've built together, then you are not worthy of having the title of a wife. You should stay alone and stay with your cat so you can constantly change the kitty litter on your own, and you'll be responsible for dragging the trash can full of empty boxed wine down to the corner to be collected. Why do these women believe that the marriage longevity has to be based completely on all of their needs, the big and the small? So when I hear the saying that in the next 15 to 20 years, half of all women will be single, I actually believe it. And I'll add on to that, the amount of alpha widows is going to shoot up by at least 30%. But that also means the level of simps will also shoot up. Oh, well, I guess it's time to start investing in LonelyFans stocks.
How about new?
I'm just saying, if you enjoy this audit, click on the video in the end screen for more content. If you would like to support the channel, please follow the link in the description to donate to our beer fund, or like, subscribe, and share this video on other social media platforms. If you agree or disagree with anything about this audit, please let us know in the comments. I'm going to leave this audit right here. I'll see all of you in the next episode.